Welcome to Consumer Psychology in our series, The Psychology of Money. I'm Carrie Cook. I'm a small business financial strategist, and for me, understanding the psychology of money helps me work with my clients to help them make better choices for healthier business outcomes. It isn't just numbers for me. Consumer psychology, in the context of money, is the study of how people think, feel, and behave in relationship to their financial decisions. It actually explores the psychological factors that influence customer choices, how we perceive things, how we select things, our purchases, the use and disposal of our products and services, our spending habits, and our overall financial well being. Understanding consumer psychology is truly crucial for product development and to create effective advertising strategies, branding, and customer engagement. Here are some of the aspects of consumer psychology as it relates to money. It's all about how consumers choose businesses, products, and services, the thought processes and emotions behind all of those decisions, how environmental variables such as friends, family, media, culture influence buying decisions, what motivates people to choose one product over another, how personal factors and individual differences affect people's buying choices, and what marketers can do to effectively reach out to their target customers. I've spent several years studying money in business, how it travels, how it expands, and how money helps to build or break down small businesses. I've watched several businesses successfully expand and also crumble to the ground. I understand profitability and what real profit can do for a small business, as well as the lack of it. My mission is to help other small businesses achieve more with this tool called money by understanding our relationship to it. I personally have experienced all the ups and downs of figuring out money just like you. I grew up trying to figure out money, how it worked with childhood allowances, good girl money, off to school, graduation, job, married, house, kids, fence, change in income brackets, divorce, another change in income brackets, going back to school, graduating, changing careers, and starting all over again. When you think about that path, you see that I've merged and separated money, shifted my finances, taken out loans, business and home, helped my family financially, won big, lost. And through it all, I've learned a lot about myself and a little bit about money. These are the areas we're going to talk about today. I'm just going to quickly reference them. Sensation actually comes before perception. Sensation actually refers to the process of sensory organs. So what your ears or your eyes, your nose, your skin, your taste buds, your texture, actually the stimuli that it receives from an external environment. Then perception comes along and it's the higher order process that actually follows the sensation into interpretation and making sense of what is actually felt. So it organizes, interprets, and integrates our sensory inputs to create a much more meaningful and coherent representation of the world that we're living in. And its perception is actually influenced by our past experiences, our expectations of what is to come from our interaction, and our cultural background. Motivation and emotion are interesting pieces. Our motivation is our drive, and it initiates and directs, and it actually sustains our behavior toward reaching specific goals or fulfilling our needs. It has different types of stimuli: an internal, which is hunger, sex, sleep; an external, which is warmth, jealousy. And then we have a biological, which can be any kind of urge, need for bathroom kind of thing. The desire to engage in any activity for enjoyment or satisfaction is really motivation. So we have the different aspects of emotion as well. And that refers to the psychological or physiological responses to different stimuli in our environment, different parts of our thoughts that involve feelings or behaviors, physiological changes. Some emotions are really basic, such as happiness, anger, fear, maybe surprise. But for more complex, we get jealousy, love, guilt. We feel emotions based on subjective things like joy or anger, and our physiological emotions come from our heart rate changing or our facial expressions, our body postures. Expressive behaviors are our facial expressions, our tone of voice, and emotions actually involve the evaluation of different emotional responses, events that or situations that we find in for our emotional responses. Emotions truly serve different functions, providing information about our experiences, influencing how we make decisions, facilitating social interactions, and motivating our own behavior. Cognitive and information processing is truly the analysis of how consumers gather, process, and interpret information to evaluate products and make purchases. Cognitive processes involve attention, memory, and decision making. We have the different activities associated with acquiring information, processing it, storing it, using it, understanding it, and potentially informing others of it. It involves thinking, reasoning, problem solving, memory, language, attention, perception, and then again, decision making. It's how we interpret and make sense out of our environments so that we can make plans or set goals and engage in different behaviors. There are some key components, and that would be the thinking process, how we make decisions, the memory process, the ability to store and retrieve information from our history or past experiences, perception, how we process and the representation of that process with regards to the rest of the world, language and how we use it or don't use it, how we write it, how we express it facially, attention to the capacity to selectively focus on specific stimuli while ignoring others. That could be laughing and crying at the same time and focusing in on the laughing and trying really hard to avoid the crying. Um, Various factors, including individual differences, cultural context, the level of education we have, and our prior experiences. We really truly seek to understand our mental processes and how it influences our behavior and problem solving. And information processing is really a framework that describes how individuals receive and interpret information, how we organize it for the environment that we're currently in. It, we have a variety of different inputs. Our sensory data from the environment is received through our senses. We have perception, which is organized by mental representation. What we do with our storage, we have long and short term storage, and as we age, we tend to lose some of that short term storage. Um, and then our output, what we do with the information and how it actually guides our behaviors, helps us to make decisions, um, what our level of attention is, and how well we can retrieve our information. Attitude formation and change really is about how consumers develop attitudes towards different brands or products, how advertising affects them, and the attitudes they shape around the things that are the stimuli that they receive through various marketing strategies. We want to make sure that individuals develop their own beliefs, their own opinions, and evaluations towards different people or objects or ideas. But as marketing, we can shape that attitude or shape those decisions. And that's really the key behind understanding. Consumer psychology is how we can use it to benefit ourselves based on how we learn about others. Attitude formation actually involves the development of attitudes towards something. So we have direct experiences, which would be personal experiences, interactions, or observations that really shape our attitude, whether it be positive or negative. We have social learning, what we learn from others around us, the kids that we go to school with, our parents, our families, our community, our neighborhood. Our attitudes can be acquired through just watching people or intimidating other behaviors. We see that in high school kids or junior high kids a lot. Individuals who are influential in that would again be our role models, our parents, or our peers. Classical conditioning is really attitudes that are formed from pairing neutral stimuli with positive or negative experiences. So it triggers a response from our environment. Cognitive processes, which are going to be based on logical analysis, weighing out the pros and cons of a situation, and adding in our beliefs and our values. Attitude change refers to changing or altering the existing attitude due to various reasons or processes. Persuasion, we're all familiar with persuasion. It involves the deliberate effect, our efforts to change our attitudes through messaging. It can be something that just appeals to our emotion or our credibility or the credibility of the product that we're looking at. Cognitive dissonance, it's when we experience discomfort or tension, holding conflicting attitudes or beliefs. Social influence, attitudes that can be influenced by social factors, group norms, peer pressure, conformity, social expectations. We change our attitudes to fit a particular social group. Elaboration, um, it's really a process information about attitude change. It's a thoughtful consideration while we take cues from other areas. Fear arousal, messaging based on fear. If we can scare somebody into doing something, they have a tendency to want to be safe. So we can market to them for safety, the safety of their families. Um, it's a very interesting area of study. Social and cultural influence are really significant factors that shape human behavior or attitudes, our beliefs, our norms, and our values within a specific group or society. They truly play a critical role in understanding how individuals interact with one another and how society as a whole functions. Social influences refer to the impact of individuals or groups that would have on our thoughts, our feelings, our attitudes, and behaviors. There's some really key forms of social influence, conformity being one, compliance being another. You want to be a good person, we're going to be compliant. Obedience, again, good person, be compliant, be obedient. Social facilitation, it's dress rehearsals, what's expected of us and how we can move forward. Social loafing, it's when we choose to um, exert much less effort in something. We've all been in a classroom where we've had a group project and there's somebody in that class that just doesn't participate in the project. That would be social loafing. De individualization, which means it would be stripping us of our personal identity. We do that when we conform to wearing the same outfits in schools, uniforms, and things. Cultural influences, what happens when we try to pertain information to our values, our beliefs, our customs, or our traditions, the language that we speak, or the shared behaviors of a specific social group. We have cultural norms and values, and these are really standards for acceptable behavior within our society. Cultural differences, a very distinct way of thinking or communicating, problem solving, and that influences our behavior and our perceptions. Our cultural diversity, understanding and appreciating cultural diversity, which is essential to promoting inclusivity, tolerance, and really truly effective communication across many different groups of people. Cultural transmission, which is meaning passing down from generation to the next generation, which I mean, I really like that. We all had grandparents, most of us had grandparents that really taught us things that our parents didn't or the society at large didn't. Cultural transmission is retaining that history and really the storytelling of the different types of things that our families went through and different ways of communicating that through touch, through food, through experience, through history, storytelling. And that involves cultural identity, which is really a particular way of influencing our behaviors or our values. So, understanding both societal and cultural influence is truly vital for understanding the different ways of studying people as far as marketing and education and even public policy. Recognizing that these influences create an inclusive environment and effective communication. It's kind of cool to be able to market this way. The next piece is personality and individual differences. It's really the study of how individual differences in personality traits and lifestyles influence our brand choices and our foundational concepts, understanding how our unique characters, our characteristics, our traits, our behaviors, and our patterns of thought actually distinguish one person from another. Our personality refers to a stable pattern of thoughts and feelings, behaviors that really characterize us over a long haul of time. We develop personalities as babies or as small children, and they stay with us until the end. Whatever situation we're in, we're going to retain our personality, which I think is really interesting. It may ebb and flow, but it's the same wide range of traits and attitudes, our values and our motivations that become our personal identity. Trait is really based on five personality traits: how open we are, how conscientious whether we're extrovert or introvert, how agreeable we are, and what kind of neuroticisms we have. We have something called psychodynamic theories, which were developed by Sigmund Freud, and that has to do with unconscious processing and conflicts, as well as childhood experiences in shaping our personalities. Our behavioral and social cognitive theories, which emphasize the influence of environment, observation, social interactions, and how that affects personal personality development and personality behaviors. Humanistic approaches, that refers to Maslow's theory of hierarchy of need, and it is about the inherent drive for self-actualization, personal growth, and fulfilling your potential. We all have that. Biological and genetic perspectives focus on genetics, neurology, and physiology factors that contribute to individual personality traits. And then individual differences, and that is the variation and distinction that exists among people in terms of personality, abilities, aptitude, our intelligence, our talents, our preferences, and other psychological traits. It's really a combination of genetics, biology, environment, and experience that really include intelligence and cognitive abilities. We have a variety of interests and preferences, values that influence our career choices, our hobbies, our lifestyle decisions. Emotional intelligence, I'm starting to tongue tie, I apologize. That would be the difference in the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions effectively with ourselves and with others. Motivation and achievement is persistent achievement, organization, and goal setting. Personality traits and temperament, distinctive personality characteristics, tendencies, and predispositions that shape behavior, emotions, and interpersonal relationships. Consumer decision making process is really a series of different steps that people go through when contemplating how to buy something or what kind of services they are interested in having. It's truly a crucial stage to understand this process because we tailor our marketing strategies to engage in potential customers based on how they answer those, how they proceed in that process. So it typically involves 5 stages. Um, Problem recognition. We have a problem. We need to understand the scope of the problem and really understand how it affects us and if it how big of a problem it is. So we start to understand that need, and then we start to look for um, why it happened in the beginning. Was it based on hunger? I'm hungry. I need to eat something, or was it some kind of discomfort? I need ibuprofen because my back hurts. Something like that. Once we've determined what the problem is, we start to look for a solution. We call that information search, and we are looking for an answer to our problems. It's truly based on internal need, our personal experiences, or our knowledge about solving this problem. External needs, such as friends or families telling us about, hey, try this. Some type of alternative evaluation. We look at what if ibuprofen is one choice, is acetamin another, that sort of thing. We're looking for alternatives. We're kind of basing our decision making process on what the pricing is, what the features and benefits are, the quality of the products that we're evaluating, the brand reputation of each one of them, any past experiences we've had, and personal recommendations that we've been given for a specific thing. We're weighing out these based on the criteria that we've developed, and we're hoping to come to a conclusion so that we have some kind of purchase decision, which is the next step. We all are evaluating alternatives and making a decision, and we're making that based on influences such as factors of value or brand loyalty or potentially promotions, what's on sale, and general overall buying experience. If we're looking for some type of a pain relief and we go to the pharmacy, we're having one experience. If we go to the gas station, we're having another. So what's it like to buy, and where we're buying it? And then our post purchase behavior, which is what we really do evaluate based on the entire experience and how this product or service made us feel. And truly the customer service aspect of it as well. It's really important that we understand it's not a linear process, and it really can involve loops of activities throughout. We have cultural, social, and personal factors that really influence every stage of our decision making process. We just need to keep that in mind when we're talking about marketing toward this type of person or that type of person. We have different consumer behavior segments, and those are based on um, different people's behaviors, our preferences, our demographics, our psychographics. We try to tailor to specific avatars. And in doing so, we're dividing into different groups of specific clients that we're trying to promote our products to, getting to know them very, very well, and um, targeting the words and the emotions to uh, that type of behavior that would purchase our stuff. We're making choices. We are offering them specific things, but that might not satisfy them. So we need to figure out what it is that satisfies them. That's not easy because they oftentimes don't know what satisfies themselves. We are going to talk about different types of consumer segmentations. So we have demographics, which really involves the age and gender, income, education, occupation, marital status, how big our families are. We have psychographics, which is really about our lifestyles, our personality traits, our values, our interests, and our behaviors. We have geographics, which are locations such as whether we live in the country or the city, what part of the country we live in, what part of the city we live in, what the climate is, what the contrast to urban and rural environments are. We have behavioral segmentation, which is really consumers' action, usage pattern, brand interaction, histories, and product preferences. Companies actually use this data to target consumers exhibiting similar behaviors to what would be their perfect avatar. Usage based segmentation is really how often you're using something, what the volume of usage is, and what you're looking for in benefits from using that particular product. Occasion based segmentation is really holidays or this month's sale or something like that. This is currently fall, right now, autumn. And in autumn, we get everything pumpkin spice. So, getting on the bandwagon, promoting a pumpkin spice something may help you generate more sales than you would had you not promoted that. So, that's going to be an occasional based sales or segment of our consumer, someone who buys that type of thing. A hybrid is just kind of a blend of all of those or some of those, making it a specific type of behavior that encompasses two segments. We're going to talk about brand loyalty that actually refers to the extent a customer will consistently choose a specific brand over another in a given product category. So it's based on their positive experiences, their past perceptions, current perceptions, and the satisfaction with their brand. Loyal customers will repurchase the same brand repeatedly, even when faced with competitive alternatives. Things that influence that are going to include product quality, reliability, trust, customer service, branding images, positive past experiences, effective branding strategies, consistent messaging, emotional connections. They all foster brand loyalty. And that leads to long term customers and increased customer lifetime value. So, brand satisfaction really represents the overall positive sentiment that a customer feels when interacting with that brand or that service, that product, the whole overall full experience. It measures how well a brand meets or exceeds a customer's expectations and fulfills their needs or their desires. It's influenced by factors such as product quality, functionality, performance, overall customer service, the ease of use, the value for the money, and the overall brand experience. We all, as branders, continuously improve and exceed customer satisfaction to continually enhance their loyalty, encourage repeated purchases, and drive our positive word of mouth, Google reviews, whatever, back. So we're constantly evaluating, conducting service surveys, analyzing their different behaviors so that we can continually improve our marketing. Customer ethics and sustainability is really an intertwined concept. It's focusing in on the responsible and conscious consumer behavior regarding our environment, our social and ethical considerations in the consumption of products and services in our daily lives. Consumer ethics is really based on moral principles and the values that guide consumers in their purchase decisions. It involves making choices that align with our ethical standards, our societal values, and our personal beliefs. Ethical consumers consider various factors, including fair trade and labor practices, animal welfare, sustainability sourcing, local and small businesses, which is my soapbox. I feel really strongly about small business and supporting it. It not only helps small business to survive, it continually builds our communities the way that we want them to be built and sustaining an environment that we want to live in. Transparency and accountability. We like to be able to understand exactly what it is about the supply chain or environmental impact from the companies that we support. Consumer ethics, sustainability again, reducing waste, minimizing waste, or opting for products with minimal packaging. I've recently started going to clothing stores and just throwing clothing into my big shopping bag, leather leather bag that I take everywhere, just to save on the plastic that I don't want to bring home. Energy and resource efficiency, circular economy, really taking a circular approach to designing, recycling, and reusing or repurposing products to extend their life and reduce waste. Carbon footprint and community and social well being. We really try to contribute positively to the well being of our communities by promoting equality and really engaging in philanthropic activities. So, by understanding the psychology of money, we highlight the real intricate relationship between thoughts and emotions, behaviors, and finances. We recognize and address the psychological aspects of money, and that can lead to improved financial well being, reduced financial stress, and much more informed financial decisions. So, understanding each other and trying to understand the world at large really does help us to communicate better, um, get our points across, showcase our services as something that will enhance and benefit other people's lives. I just want to thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. If you should need anything or would like to contact me, here's my contact information. Thank you.